Shalom. Kol Loyim La, Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahushai Ba'ashim, Baruch HaKodash. Kol Loyim Wa, Kabad La, Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahushai Ba'ashim, Baruch HaKodash. Double unto the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. And as always, peace, blessings, and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David that are scattered abroad. Now, I really didn't have a particular topic to go into, so I just started to go into some reading, and actually, I was watching Elder Yashawamba video. He was going into Second Ezra, the second chapter, and there was an exhortation. So, I want to go into it and read it. And you know how when you read, certain things, certain key things that's actually said in particular verses, sometimes it might stick out to you and it make you want to, search into it, read other translations, just to see what it says. And then you also go into other precepts, just to get the full understanding. And, as I was reading Second Ezra, the second chapter, this actually is what stuck out, and, the Spirit hopped on me to actually deal with it, because, we know that we're coming into a time of trouble, and it's going to take divine defensive protection. All right, protection from on high, our protection with power to save us out of this time of trouble. And so, when you get here to Second Ezra 2, and around the 26th verse, it pretty much goes into how the Lord is going to preserve and protect his elect. All right, he's going to make sure that none of them perish. But how is he going to do? How is that going to happen when you got the devil coming down with great wrath? When you see the enemy arising, all right, and coming for us. It tells you in Isaiah 59 that the enemy shall come in like a flood. This devil, he has it out for us, so we're going to definitely need that protection from on high. So what I want to do is I want to read this, and then I want to go into another translation of it, and then I want to get some precepts. So let's start at verse 26. It says, Second Ezra 2 verse 26 says, "As for the servants whom I have given thee." Now, we know that Yahushai, when he spoke to the Most High, when he was making that prayer, he made a prayer for those who was given to him. And that's his elect, his servants, the prophets, which, who he was praying for. He was dealing with his disciples and the men that followed them. Those are those who the Lord gave him. All right. And it says, "There shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number." Now, real quick, let's go to Luke 21. Let's remember what Yahushai said. Yeah, Luke 21 and verse 17, it says, "And you shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but there shall not an hair of your head perish." So the Lord is making that promise that there's going to be some of you who will not perish in this time of trouble, this tribulation. And he says, "In your patience," meaning in your suffering, "possess ye your souls." All right, meaning keep your composure and remain steadfast, faithful, and you're going to get to see the Lord work his wondrous hand. You're going to see his hands go to work, and that's what's going to protect us. All right. So going back, he says here to Prophet Ezra, all right, dealing with the servants whom I have given thee, right? When you go to John 17, let's go John 17, and we're going to start around the 10th verse. It says, matter of fact, let me start at 9. It says, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, and that world represents the rest of Israel. All right, because Israel is the cosmos. That's the arrangement. That's the organization. All right, the adorning. That's Israel. So I'm not talking about any other nation. So the Lord is saying, I'm not praying for the whole nation, but for them which thou hast given me, for they are thine, and all mine are thine, and thine are mine, and I am glorified in them. And now I am no more in the world, but these are in the world. And I come to thee, Holy Father. And it's showing you right here that, they're not the same entity. They're not one and the same. All right. He's acknowledging that the Father is over him. All right. It says, keep through thine own name those whom thou hast given me, that they may be one as we are. When he told the Heavenly Father, the Holy Father, to keep them through his name, that means protect them through thy power, the power of your name. Because that's what we're going to be saved by. We're going to be saved by the name, through the name. All right, let's real quick. Let's go to Psalms. And the elect are going to praise that name. They're going to call upon that name. There's power in the name. How else are we going to be saved? The Lord said, he that shall call upon my name shall be saved. Right? This is Psalms 44 and verse 4. It says, thou art my king, O power, command deliverances for Jacob. Through thee will we push down our enemies. Through thy name will we tread them under that rise up against us. All right, because the power is going to be with us through his name. All right, to show you how powerful the name of the Father is. But we can't get to the Father but by way of his Son. So the name of Yahushua is included in that. All right, now let's go to that same verse, John 17 and 11. And let's read it in the NLT. And it says, now I am departing from the world, because the Lord's getting ready to make his departure. That time was coming for him to be apprehended. He had to go through the humiliation and the sacrifice. It says they are staying in this world, meaning they're not going to leave with Yahushua. They got to continue on with the ministry. So they're going to need divine protection. Even though they're going to be persecuted, they're going to go through things, they're going to get locked up. But he's asking the Lord to, keep them protected under his mighty power. It says, but I am coming to you, Holy Father. You have given me your name. Now protect them by the power of your name, so that they will be united just as we are. All right. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra 2. And let's read it again. It says, as for the servants whom I have given thee, and that's the prophets, the servants, the prophets, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require from them among thy number. And that's the elect, that remnant. It says, be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. And we always read the precept to that, Isaiah 65 and 13. Because his servants are going to eat, but they shall starve. All right, the elect are gonna have the joy of heart, but the rest of the nation, they're gonna have the sorrow of heart. All right, and it says, verse 28, it says, the heathen shall envy thee but they shall not be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord. Why? And it's getting ready to tell you, my hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell. In other words, they aren't going to be able to do nothing against you, because the Lord's going to have his hands, his holy hands over us. He's going to be protecting us. He's going to defend us. It tells you that in Zechariah, the 12th chapter, that he's going to defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Zechariah 12, verse 8, it says, in that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. This is the reason why the nations ain't going to be able to do nothing against you, because the Lord's going to defend us. It says, in the house of David shall be as the Most High, as the angel of the Lord before them. So they're going to have that divine angelic power with them. And that's talking about the Lord's servants, his men, the tabernacle of David. And then you got the women, all right, that's going to be under that protection, because, you know, they're going to be up under the men of the Lord, the believing women and the children. That's why it says in Isaiah 32 that a man shall be as a hiding place. All right, a covert, basically a place of refuge and protection. Let's look up that word defend real quick. We're going to go to here it is. The word is ganan, and it says to defend, cover, surround, and it says down here to hedge about, i.e. generally protect. All right, so he's going to protect the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and it ain't talking about those who inhabit the land of Israel right now. We know that Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. All right, the real children of Israel represents Jerusalem, and so they're going to be protected in that time. All right. So going back, when he says, my hand shall cover thee, that's basically saying the Lord's going to protect you with his power. Now let's go to the same verse, and let's go to the GNT translation. Go to 2 Ezra 2, and that same verse in the Good News translation. Second Ezra 2. And matter of fact, I'll start at 27. It says, don't worry, when the day of trouble and distress comes, others will cry and mourn, but you will be happy and rich. And that's hey, did not Yahushua say that? Let's go to Luke 6 real quick. That's exactly what the Lord said, Yahushua. He said, woe to you. Let me get it. Luke 6 and 24 says, but woe unto you that are rich, for you have received your consolation. So those of you that are sold out and you're comfortable now, you're going to be sorrowful later. And the Lord is not going to protect you. It says that in was that Proverbs, riches profit not in the day of the Lord's wrath. So you already didn't receive your comfort zone. You're not going to be comfortable when the wrath comes. You're not going to be protected. You're not going to be hedged, because you think your money is your hedge right now. Well, it's not going to be your hedge in the day of trouble. Verse 25, it says, woe unto you that are full, for you shall hunger. Woe unto you that laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep. All right. So the Lord is pretty much saying what prophecy already said. Isaiah 65:13, and also right here in 2 Ezra, the 2nd chapter. All right, it says, let me go back to the GNT translation. It says, don't worry, when the day of trouble and distress comes, others will cry and mourn, but you will be happy and rich. The other nations will be jealous of you, but they will not be able to harm you, right? Because the Lord's divine hand is going to be in the way, right? I will protect you with my power and save your children from hell. So anytime it talks about the Lord saving us with his hand, it's an indication of his divine power, that he's going to protect us through his divine power. And that's why it says in Isaiah that his hand is not shortened that it cannot save. Isaiah 59 and verse 1, behold, the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. All right. The Lord has the power. He's always shown his divine power when it came to protecting his people. Is reiterated all throughout scriptures regarding what he did for us when we came out of the land of Egypt. He delivered us. All right. He used his hand. All right. Let's get Isaiah 50 and verse 1. And it says, thus saith the Lord, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement, whom I have put away? Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you? Behold, your iniquities have you sold yourselves. That's why it says that in Baruch 4, you were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved the Lord to wrath. Basically, you sold yourself. All right, you betrayed the Lord. All right, then your unfaithfulness, your infidelity, going to sacrifice to other gods, other idols, and you ended up in that predicament, right? It says, and for your transgressions is your mother put away. And it says, wherefore when I came, was there no man? When I called, was there none to answer? Is my hand shortened at all that it cannot redeem? Or have I no power to deliver? These are all questions the Lord is asking his people. All right. The Lord always had power to deliver from us, and we read it all throughout the scriptures, all throughout prophecy. It says, behold, at my rebuke, I dry up the sea. I make the rivers a wilderness, their fish stinketh because there is no water and die for thirst. All right. But the Lord's hand, he can do whatever he wants. All right. So there you can't you can't front on the Most High. All right, the receipts is right here in the book. The Lord has his track record. So that's what gives us our confidence to know that in the time of trouble, when anguish, comes, adversity comes, the Lord, his hand is not shortened. He's going to deliver his chosen. He's going to protect us. All right, he's our mighty protection, man. Let's get real quick. Let's go to Sirach 34. Salakia, I'm into go to 34. And we're gonna go to the 16th verse. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start at 13. It says, the spirit of those that fear the Lord shall live, for their hope is in him that saveth them. Whoso feareth the Lord shall not fear nor be afraid. Why is that? For he is his hope. We're expecting the Lord to come through like he's been coming through. That's why when things hit the fan and we see this devil coming with it, our default reaction is to call upon that name. All right, and expect for him to work. All right, to counter with his divine hand. It says, blessed is the soul of him that feareth the Lord, to whom doeth he look, and who is his strength. For the eyes of the Lord are upon them that love him. He is their mighty protection and strong stay. And that's who we're staying upon. All right. The remnant that's returning to the Lord, that's their strong stay. All right. Lord willing, we're those men and women. We will not stay upon him who smote us, but we will stay upon the Holy One. Okay. Because he's our defense. It says a defense from heat and a cover from the sun at noon, a preservation from stumbling, and an help from falling. So this is our divine protection, man. Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Right? So yeah, I think that's it on that. Now let's go to Psalms 138. And these are just a few scriptures that that came to mind as I was reading that. Sometimes the spirit work like that. You could just be reading, and then a few cute words pop up, and then you want to look further into it and even read other translations, and before you know it, all type of scriptures will come to mind. Now you got a lesson. Whether it's a long lesson or whether it's just a quick to the point lesson. All right. This is Psalms 138, and yeah, Psalms 138, and I'm gonna start at verse 5. It says, I'll start at let me see. I'll start at verse 4. It says, all the kings of the earth shall praise thee, O Yahweh, when they hear the words of thy mouth. Yet they shall sing in the ways of the Lord, for great is the glory of the Lord. Though the Lord be high, yet have he respect unto the lowly, but the proud he knoweth afar off. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, right? Going back to what it said in 2nd Ezra 2 about that day of trouble and distress. It says, though I walk in the midst of trouble, thou wilt revive me. Thou shalt stretch forth thine hand against the wrath of mine enemies, and thy right hand shall save me. So we know every time the Lord talks about his hand or his right hand is indicative of his divine power and protection. All right, his divine defensive power. And Yahweh Shai is who sits at that right hand of power. So that's how we're gonna be saved. Okay, now let's read this in another translation. It says, the NLT, it says, though I am surrounded by troubles, you will protect me from the anger of my enemies. And we know that Esau is coming down with great wrath, because you know that his time is short. You know that he have but a short time. But the Lord is going to protect us. It says, you reach out your hand, and the power of your right hand saves me. See that? So, expect it. That's our hope. Expect it, man. And don't limit the power of his hand, man. It's not shortened at all. The way, like this devil right now, he's literally trying to cut off your food supply. He's trying to starve us out. All right. The fact that all of a sudden there's cyber attacks on these farms. The fact that these food processing plants are just mysteriously being starting, basically they're starting fires. They're burning down your food processing plants. Somehow they're just getting, explosions are happening, and just random fires, and they're trying to act like they don't know what the problem is or where the problem is coming from. You know, like as if there's no foul play. We come on, man. We not stupid. So we already know what this devil is getting ready to do. But we still, through it all, we're gonna, continue to be faithful and be hopeful that the Lord's gonna extend his hand. Now we're gonna cast our burden upon him and he's gonna provide for us. We're gonna be able to eat. We don't know how, you know. We don't know how it's gonna happen, but we through our faith, we know that the Lord's gonna come through for us. All right. And we got different examples how the Lord miraculously fed us, like when he fed us in the wilderness. All right. He kept us fed. He kept us hydrated. All right. And how he fed Elijah in the wilderness by the ravens. All right. So we're gonna be straight, man. He said his servants shall eat, but they shall starve. That's all gonna be done by the Lord's right hand. So let's go from there. Let's go to Psalms 98. Psalms 98 verse 1, it says, "O sing unto the Lord a new song, for he have done marvelous things, miraculous things. His right hand and his holy arm have gotten him the victory. The Lord have made known his salvation, his righteousness have he openly showed in the sight of the heathen." All right. All the nations are going to see the Lord's power and they're going to marvel. And that's when they're going to finally bow their knee. They're going to be humbled. The Lord said he's going to lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. They that are lofty you're going to be humble. You're going to be brought down. And the Lord alone that day is going to be exalted, because you're going to recognize the power when you see it. And the power that's behind his chosen. All right. And let's real quick, let's go to Wisdom of Solomon, and I want to go to it in the GNT, because it details how the Lord showed his miraculous hand when it came to protecting his people in Egypt. All right, Wisdom of Solomon 19 and verse 6, it says, and this is in the GNT, it says, "The whole nature of the universe was changed at your command, so that your people would not be harmed." So he was able to change the course of nature just to protect us, just to keep us out of harm's way. Because we know the Pharaoh was coming for us, and his army that was coming on those chariots, and he covered us. They saw the cloud over their camp and dry land where water had been. All right, that was the Lord lifting up that standard, and that cloud, Yahweh Shai was in that cloud. All right, and the Lord's coming back with the cloud, and with multiple clouds. The angels. There was a grass-covered plain between the stormy waves of the Red Sea, making it easy for them to cross over. But you got that one bug out, all right, down there in Dallas, who said this never happened. He denies. He limits the power of the arm of the Most High. All right. It says, "All your people under your protection saw this miracle and went across." So we seen these miracles done. So you think the Lord is not going to show that hand again? Sure he is. He's going to make sure his men and his women are covered. So we just got to continue to have faith, man, and do what's pleasing in his sight. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Let me see if there might be some more. Yeah, I'll read this one down here, the last verse. It says, Lord, you have made your people great, glorious in all respects. You have never neglected them. You have given them help always, everywhere. And he's going to help us again. That's why it says in Isaiah 41, fear not, Jacob, thou worm, for he will help thee. All right. He's going to help us, man. We're going to be covered by his hands, man, that us and our children shall not see hell. He's going to protect us with that power. So just remember that and, be encouraged, man. So with that, I think I'm going to cut it right there. I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor where it's due. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rav the abundance of the elder apostles of the great millstone rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.